Cindy Beale faces a terrifying ordeal next week after crossing newcomer Jasmine Fisher, who sends her tumbling down a staircase in a vicious attack. Her efforts to act like a sleuth and expose the truth about the strange woman living under her roof take a disastrous turn. Can Cindy pull through? And what exactly is Jasmine so desperate to hide? Jasmine's presence has sparked endless speculation since the moment she arrived in Walford. Everyone suspects she's concealing something significant, but in the coming episodes, her real nature is exposed, and Cindy may end up paying the highest price. Oscar has previously tried to learn more about the woman he's dating, but Jasmine has shut down every attempt to pry into her background. Soon, Cindy and Lauren start to grow uneasy as well, and despite their rocky history, they decide to join forces and dig for answers. When Jasmine briefly leaves her mobile unattended, Cindy and Lauren seize the moment, snatching it up for their own fact-finding mission. The unlikely pair reach out to Jasmine's mother, Anita, and arrange a secret meeting, and what they uncover rattles them to the core. It's a huge shock when Anita appears in Walford, especially since Oscar was led to believe she lived overseas and was constantly tied up with work. The covert meeting reveals far more than expected, as Anita hints that Jasmine has a disturbing side to her personality. Cindy wastes no time storming back to the Albert to confront Jasmine about what she's learned. But this move proves disastrous, because the moment Cindy mentions that she's spoken to her mother, Jasmine snaps and violently pushes her down the stairs. A horrified Oscar finds Cindy unconscious and immediately calls for help, prompting the Beale family to race to her side. Meanwhile, he turns to Jasmine for an explanation. When Oscar asks what really went on, Jasmine becomes defensive and flat-out denies laying a hand on Cindy. But as he continues to press her, she backtracks and invents a false version of events at the Albert. Cindy's future is uncertain as she fights for her life in a critical state. But has Jasmine managed to fool Oscar into believing she had no part in the attack? And what secrets from her past is she so desperate to keep hidden? EastEnders fans not impressed as they work out Joel Marshall's future after Vicki Fowler twist. The character hasn't appeared on the BBC serial drama for more than a month. Viewers of the show have voiced their disappointment, claiming they have already figured out what will happen to Joel Marshall following a major twist involving Vicki Fowler. The teen was taken into custody last month after launching a violent assault on his father's partner Vicki, who had confronted him about his sexist behavior. She was rushed to A&E after staggering into the pub, where doctors discovered she needed surgery for a collapsed lung and a fractured arm caused by the attack. With Joel held by the authorities, Vicki later ordered Ross to leave the home, furious that he failed to intervene while his son's troubling behavior escalated. During Monday's episode, November 17th, Vicki was visibly shaken after learning that Joel intends to plead not guilty at his upcoming trial. She reluctantly agreed to join the quiz night at the local pub to distract herself, but her mood shifted when she was unexpectedly placed on the same team as Ross. Things quickly spiraled when Vicki noticed suspicious behavior from Chelsea Fox's date, Damon, and later overheard him speaking to his wife. Calling him out publicly, she announced to the entire pub that he was a cheat, only for Chelsea to calmly reveal she already knew he was married. Still unsettled, Vicki followed Damon into the laundrette, where a heated confrontation erupted. In the struggle, she shoved him, causing him to fall and strike his head, with the episode ending on a chilling shot of his motionless body. Across online forums, particularly the EastEnders Reddit community, fans have expressed frustration that Joel's storyline now seems to be unfolding away from the main screen. EastEnders confirms devastating full details of Lauren's cruel scam ordeal. Lauren Beale finds herself tricked by a heartless scam next week, after con artists claim they can provide a specialist treatment plan for little Jimmy. When she and Peter receive a flood of information about supposed new therapies for children with visual impairment, Lauren is naturally keen to learn more. Hopeful for answers, the worried mum contacts the alleged medical expert, who immediately asks for a £3,000 upfront fee. But Lauren later uncovers the horrifying truth. The entire offer was nothing more than a cruel scam. How will she deal with the crushing discovery? Lauren is internally spiraling with fear, shares a Walford source. Everything she believes in collapses as she struggles to grasp how she ended up in this nightmare. Scamming anyone is vile, but targeting a young mother over her baby's health is utterly unforgivable. Lauren genuinely thinks the treatment could improve Jimmy's life, only to end up devastated. Before Lauren's heartbreaking realization, Ian warns her and Peter that the promotional material they're being sent is not legitimate. However, desperate to support her son in any way she can, Lauren ignores his advice and looks deeper into the claims. Lauren would go to the ends of the earth for her children, adds our insider. Even the faintest hope of helping Jimmy is enough to push her into action. Once she makes contact, she's told about the £3,000 payment and is even shown testimonials from other families. With that kind of manipulation, it's easy to see why she fell for it. Unaware that the success stories are entirely fabricated, Lauren confides in Cindy about her worries over how she'll raise the money. Later on, she attends a charity quiz night at the local pub, but when something happens involving Jimmy, her anxiety intensifies, and she becomes even more determined to find a way to help him. Will she manage to gather the cash the scammers are chasing? The commotion at the pub only intensifies Lauren's frantic mission to help Jimmy, our insider explains. She was already clinging to any hope she could find, but what unfolds that night sends her spiraling into an even deeper state of fear and urgency. It leaves her shaken to the core, and although the production team are keeping a tight lid on the specifics, viewers should expect something dramatic and emotionally heavy. Whatever takes place, it becomes a turning point for Lauren. As dawn breaks the following morning, Lauren sits down at her laptop, desperate to take the next step in securing the treatment she believes could change Jimmy's future. But her heart sinks as she uncovers the devastating reality. The doctor she trusted never existed at all. The emails, the medical claims, the glowing patient histories, every last detail was part of a calculated scheme. She realizes she has been preyed upon by heartless fraudsters. The shock hits her hard. Betrayal, guilt, confusion, the emotions come crashing down at once. She struggles to comprehend how she was manipulated so thoroughly and begins to question her own judgment. All she wanted was to give her son the best possible chance, and now she feels foolish, exposed, and unbearably alone. Now comes the toughest decision she has faced in months. Should she tell her loved ones what has happened, admitting openly that she has fallen for a scam? Or will she retreat inward, convinced that dealing with the shame privately is somehow safer? The weight of the ordeal threatens to overwhelm her, and the fear of being judged may push Lauren into silence at a time when she desperately needs support. What she chooses to do next could have serious emotional consequences, not just for Lauren, but for those around her who would do anything to help if they knew the truth. EastEnders continues Monday through Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One, with most episodes released early on BBC iPlayer from 6 a.m.